It's not very often in a draft you get two running backs from the same school going as consensus RB1 and RB2. This is really hard to do at the college level because one of these backs normally is taking the bulk of the work and getting all of the stardom and flowers for their teams. We've seen this happen a few times with guys like Nick Chubb and Sony Michel back in 2018. Like in more recent times, Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson. And even this year we saw Nick Singleton and Katron Allen coming out of the draft together. But again, like I said in the beginning, it's very rare they become 1 and 2. And this year, Notre Dame has a real shot for their two running backs to go as running back 1 and running back 2 off the board. Obviously, Jeremiah Love will be running back 1 off the board. That is consensus. Unless something freak happens in the offseason, there is almost nothing that is going to stop that from happening. So now it's up to Jadarian Price. Jadarian is not necessarily consensus RB2 yet, but he's definitely in the talks. He's in talks from 2 to about RB5 for most people and most experts that I've seen. So I think there is no better time to go over his film, his stats, and everything we're looking for than right now. Jadarian is a 5'11", 209-pound back, again, out of the University of Notre Dame, and has been a backup to Jeremiah Love for pretty much his entire career. This year, he had 12 games played, 674 yards, a 6 yards per carry, 6 receptions, and 87 receiving yards, with a total of 13 touchdowns, 2 receiving, 11 rushing this year. He had the 45th ranked offensive line. And again, we go over Jeremiah Love. This is all going to be very similar because they're on the same team. 45th ranked offensive line this year. We're going to primarily focus on this year's rushing grades. Why? Because as a backup, what you put on the tape most recently matters drastically more than what you've put on in past years. So let's even dive into the competition. So as we go through, they played Miami. They were number 15th versus the run this year. Texas A&M was 32nd. Purdue was 133rd. Arkansas was 77th. Boise State 122nd. NCSU was 78th. USC was 130th. Boston College was 124. Navy was 108th. Pitt 7th. Now, again, this was towards the end of the year, so there was a little bit of injuries in that, and we'll talk about that later. But Syracuse was 135th, and Stanford was 62nd. That means they played 3 games versus top 50 rushing defenses, and they played 6 games versus bottom 30 rushing defenses. So the competition isn't really there, so we're going to have to make sure the tape can show us things that maybe these game scripts didn't. So let's waste no more time and hop straight into it. If you've been on my channel before, you know how we do this. We normally go over 3 games during these film reviews. I normally pick 1 versus a very good defense, 1 versus a very bad defense, and the last one versus a middling defense that can go either way, normally around the 50s, the 60s in these rushing defense rankings. Again, there's only 136 teams in the NCAA for D1A. So again, when you go through 60s, you're about at the halfway point, 70s halfway point from there. So first, we're going to do USC. This is the worst defense he could have possibly played. We're going to pretty much cut up, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to cut much from this. Normally, these tapes are about 11 minutes long for each player, but he doesn't have many opportunities, again, because he was a backup, so we can almost do this in full. So again, with Jadarian being a great size at 5'11", 209 pounds, he's not quite the bruiser, he's not quite the speedster like Devon Achane, but he's the perfect size of most modern day running backs. Now, the question is, can he catch the ball? Is his vision good? Is his footwork good? Does he have good explosion off the line? He only had 6 receptions this year, so can he prove that he still can catch the ball despite having such a low reception number? These are the questions we have. And in this play right here, we're going to see a quick swing route to him, get him out in space. Seems like on tape, he has a decent route running ability. Again, he wasn't utilized in the slot. He wasn't utilized outside. He wasn't utilized as a receiver. So there's still a lot of meat on the bone to see there. But out of the swing route, again, he's a more elusive back than he even looks, but he's a very downhill runner, which I do really like about him. He has a forward lean when he runs, as well as he keeps the ball very high and tight. Here's another play. Again, USC is ranked 130th. So the rushing defense is not very good, but he is very explosive through the hole, which you love to see. Breakaway speed is solid, not crazy, but I mean, his decisiveness is something I absolutely love about Jadarian Price. Like, he sees the hole, wastes 0 time. We just got done a film review of Emmett Johnson, who was very pitter-patter behind the line and just ended up putting his nose down despite having a lot of holes, and he couldn't quite find them like we wanted to. Jonah Coleman was also a very patient running back, found the holes a little bit better, had definitely better vision, but his feet couldn't keep up with his vision. So we're looking for that mix of both to create an elite running back or a great running back at the next level. Can you have the vision? Can you have the decisiveness and the feet to keep up with your decisiveness? All in one. And it seems like Jadarian has it right here, sees the hole right away, hits it again, his burst is phenomenal. We'll see it in more plays later on, but his burst is phenomenal through the line. And again, very decisive, so it wastes zero time. He doesn't allow the hole to get closed. Out onto the next level, and he's off to the races. Again, gets tracked down by the backside safety, but still love to see that. So again, packing the back of the lineman's butt cheek, and again, decisive right through the hole. Would have loved to see him cut through the other side, but again, he's going to put his head down. And again, he's a pretty solid back. Again, probably would have attacked right there, but understandable. Put his head down, gain a few yards, truck along. This team is a horrible tackling unit. You guys saw, again, last review on Emmett Johnson. I ripped 19 a new one for the defensive side of the ball, and their tackling is just horrendous. But again, he's able to demolish here. He's a great play, right? Obviously, we're going to have a split zone, which means this H-back is going to come across and crack the backside defensive end here, right, to create a seam right in that hole. And again, no pitter-patter, no secondary decisions. Boom, very decisive, gets to the outside, has good burst, has solid enough speed, and gets in the end zone. So we love to see this again. Great blocking up front. Have to credit the O-line. Again, 45th ranked in the country. That's nothing to shock at. That's top half of the country going against a bad rushing defense. Here's another decision play. We love to see these decision plays right here. Again, the same thing we've been seeing all day. They don't need to run anything fancy against this USC team. Notre Dame knows that. They're blowing them out, right? He's decisive off of the line. His eyes are awesome. He sees the crash down from the DN, which means he knows he's going to have the bounce, especially when they're blitzing right up the middle. He sees there's nothing here. He sees it. He saw the hat of 23. Could he probably get here? Sure, but he's also getting pancaked on that opposite side. Don't want to get tripped up. He sees the bounce right away. 6 crashes inside, is not able to set the edge, and instead he gets outside, makes a quick decision fast. And again, the fast decision-making in the NFL level is so crucial. Making the right decision fast, because holds close 10 times faster at the NFL level than they do at the college level. You're going to the run outside. A great way to fit up the hole. Again, he's a little bit high of a runner. If there's going to be one knock I have him, it's a little bit high, but he does have a good forward lean, so he normally always falls forward. That is something you want to see out of your backs. And he's not bouncing them outside. Again, we saw last week, we had a lot of Emmett Johnson film to roll over, and a lot of times guys with speed or guys that are a little bit smaller guys love to bounce it and just try to get outside as much as possible. Jadarian, with the decisiveness, is also pretty patient to find these holes and get right through to where you're looking for. Now, again, great credit to the offensive line. He makes it pretty easy to see, and again, he's able to gain some yards there. And again, he falls forward, which is always something you want to see. Now, here is a very impressive play to me because, again, college running backs, a lot of times, what is their biggest knock? Their vision. They can be athletic as all get out, but a lot of times their vision holds them back. Well, right here, Jadarian finds the hole fast. And everyone crashed inside, finds the absolute sliver to get through, gets skinny, gets through, breaks tackles, and finds 10 yards out of this. If I showed you just this image, you'd be like, he's probably cooked. Most running backs would be at the college level. He plants his foot in the ground. He gets skinny. Again, getting skinny, what that means, we talked about it last week. You have to be able to shave the asses of your linemen and tight ends if you want to be a great running back at the next level. Again, I said this before. I saw a tweet by Brett Coleman, and I think it's one of the most important things that when you're breaking down film and watching film that you can do is go back and watch the people that are elite at their positions. Watch the Bijan Robinsons. Watch the Jahmyr Gibbs. Watch the Devon Achans. Watch the Jonathan Taylors. Watch these guys, Saquon Barkleys of the world. What do they do at an elite level? That's the little minute things that get them to be at that elite level. It is being able to play off of the asses of their linemen and be skinny and find holes that most running backs can't. And that's exactly what he does here. Gets super skinny, turns 5'11", 200 and about 10 pounds into about a 5'8", 180 pounds. Quick lean there with the shoulder turn, finds the hole, and again, leans forward and jumps for 10 yards on this play. You love to see that by a running back, even if he's a backup. Again, playing behind a Jeremiah Love is almost the equivalent of playing behind a Bijan Robinson. Like, you're just not going to see the quite volume, but if you could show on tape that you could do this, you can still play at a high level. Here we go, another inside zone, and you can see the forward lean here that he has. Let's look at the wide view here. Look at how forward of a lean he has when he runs the football. That's what I really like about him. It's not too far to where he's falling over his feet, but it's enough to where he's almost always going to fall forward with a wider base when he runs, that he's going to keep trucking over people. And like, arm tackles are not going to get him down. Like this is not going to make him fall on the ground, right? If we saw in previous reviews of what we did last year, Caleb Johnson was a guy that I really knocked for running very tight while running high. So it kind of just took away the fact that he was 6'1", 220 pounds, 225 pounds, whatever he was, because of his running stature. A running stature like this, if you're 5'11", 210, you're running like you're 220. Which is an awesome, awesome thing. And again, I don't mean to be glazing too much because there are some things we need to critique, but for the most part, this against USC, there's not much more he can do that I can compliment. I mean, he's playing a great game here against this USC team. Absolutely nothing there, so we can go into the next play. Again, this is going to be a hitter. DN blows it up a little bit, but we're still able to get outside. Again, finds the hole and is decisive. A lot of running backs, they see this happen, and they'll try to bounce it outside almost right away. He's just patient, follows his blockers, finds the hole, gets outside. And again, the lean forward and the jump forward. It's something that you got to respect. He's not going to take losses. He's not going to get hit here and just fall down. He's going to jump forward for an extra 2 to 3 yards. Sometimes you don't love it because of ball security. But again, haven't seen any problems. He holds the ball high and tight, haven't any punch outs or anything. He looks to be pretty solid there. Again, right through the hole, following his blockers. Not much there. But again, you just like him. He's shaving the ass of number 2 right here. And just following him right there. It's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. Now let's watch him play against one of the best rushing defenses in the entire country, which is Texas A&M. This team was ranked 32nd in the entire country against the run. Now, Jadarian still had 2 touchdowns in this game, despite them being a great rushing defense. Let's see what he can do, right? He's obviously being utilized in the pass game. Wide open on the wheel route. Wide open on the wheel route. We're not going to look that way. It's fine. Again, blocking for Jeremiah Love here. Able to get outside. This running back tandem is awesome, right? And this is awesome. First off, the play design is great, right? Pistol counter. A lot of people will see this and immediately think, oh, it's made to be an outside zone. Wrong. That's why he takes the counter steps here. Look at how wide he gets so that way he can cut it back inside, right? It's a pistol counter play, which is why 9 is coming down to crack block. And look at where he finds this hole. Sees 18, makes a quick read, make a quick cut, and boom. Watch the burst from here to there. Right through. Zero hesitation in his game. He knows exactly where he needs to be, puts his head down, runs him over, and that's a good touchdown. And as you can see, I mean, you can see it's counter pretty much right off the rip because look at where his head is tilted, but his head doesn't move off this path the entire time. His head is still looking that way. Where's 21? Where's my hole? Where's 9? Where's my hole? And it opens up. Boom, right there, get through, put your head down, don't miss it, right through the hole. Now, here's something I wish he did a little bit more. Again, we're going to this next play here. Is a lot of times, Jadarian, if there's one thing I do knock about him, it's not a big knock, but it is something that would need to be fixed at the next level, is when he does a lot of these handoffs, his body is slanted, right? He's kind of already predetermining where he's going a lot of times. Now that does work out a lot with depending on the scheme of the game. If it's a very power run scheme, if it's an ISO game, most of the times your reads are pretty predetermined and then you quickly react as you go through. Now, again, with a zone play, you want to get as straight line as possible, have your hips and belly button facing the ass of the center pretty much right away, so that way you get the full vision of exactly if you have the bang, bounce, or back, right? So if you have the bang, you have the bounce, or the back, right? And he has the back here. I mean, look at 11. His entire body is sideways, right? So we know the rush is going through there. If he were to be diagonal, or if he were to not be diagonal and he were to be belly button to the center, he would see he has the back here, right? Even with 9 peeling off, like he has that hole there to at least get a little bit more. And again, that's just a tiny little thing, a tiny little nitpick. But again, nitpicking is what you got to do if you're looking at guys getting to that next level. And again, he would see it if it was there, but it's not the end of the world. We still take a gain. Like again, if it was just a little bit more, he would have that vision to see the cutback, right? But again, it's diagonal, so he just threw it. But it's there, dude. It's there. All right, next play. They saw it. They saw they had it, and they took advantage of it. Again, we're running against a 6-man box. We always take a 6-man box. Why? Because we have number advantage. These 6-man will be right here. If you can't beat them, that's fine. We're going to most likely leave this outside linebacker. Kind of looks more like a rover if he's number 9. I can't really tell. But look at how this opens up. Boom. Sees the hole right away. I mean, go through it, big man, and we're off to the races. See you later. Great cut on the outside. Good explosion. And again, he's very good burst force someone his size at 210. Boom, he's off. I'll be excited to see what his 20 or 10-yard split is at the combine, because that tells you a lot for running backs as well. I don't really care as much about 40 time. I know everybody always talks about 40 time, 40 time, 40 time. That 10 to 20-yard split, that shows you a lot for running backs. How is that burst coming out? How is that burst? Like the guys like Bucky Irvings of the world, they're not burners for 40s, and you don't really have to be at the next level. It's definitely super nice to have if you want to be a truly transcendent back. If you're coming in to be in a committee or in a rotation, like the top end speed isn't the end all be all. It's the vision, the decisiveness, and all these little things that add up. And the burst is so important, because the first 5 yards as a running back is your most important yards. After that, you're playing DBs, right? So if you can get through those first 5 yards, that is everything. Love to see this jump cut, right? Very smooth on the jump cuts. This is what you like to see too. Again, we see with Jeremiah Love as well, and we talked about this with the past 2 running backs, in Jonah Coleman and Emmett Johnson, is what did they not have as much, is they had a ton of pitter-patter in their jump cuts. What I mean by that is they would take 13, it's an over-exaggeration a lot, they would take about 3 to 4 steps before they would make their jump cut. As a running back, you want it to be cut down to 2 and then 3 at the most before you jump cut. Right? Like you need it to be a smooth one-cut transition, right? We don't need it to be this big, long stutter, go, right? You want it to be smooth, bang, right through. It's a one-cut back type of system nowadays. And again, that's because it's so much zone being played, right? And that's how it is, right? Again, you see him be put out on these routes. I mean, almost all of his routes are the exact same out of the backfield. It's just a choice route. See where the linebacker is and just go the opposite way or go the other way. First off, buddy's naked. Let's get him the rock. And most importantly, let's not miss him. He's 5'11". He's not 5'2", right? That ball should have been to him a long time ago. Because 21's not playing in pass coverage. Step up. Get him the rock. I don't know if that was tipped or not. I couldn't really see. Here we go. We have a wildcat formation. A pulling back. Yeah. Oh, I wish it would have stayed a little bit tighter this line, right? Woo, sheesh. But again, overall good play. Nothing really more you can do other than hope he would cut that a little bit sooner. Right? You want to cut it like right now. But again, the 4 makes a good tackle here. Taking his kneecaps out. Still overall, good vision, good run, good cut. Again, there's no pitter-patter, which is super nice. We love to see that. There's no extracurriculars with his feet. His feet and his vision, from all the film I've seen so far, I've watched 5 games of his. I feel like 5 is a pretty good sample size of how a running back is. Watched 5 games, all different varyings. But as you can see, just from these 3 games, his feet and his head are on the same path 94% of the time. I'd say probably like 93, 94% of the time, which is what you're looking for. When your head gets too fast and you're trying to look around too much and your feet can't keep up, you're going to get tripped up a lot. You're going to get arm tackled. And you're going to stutter behind the line too long. There's a lot that goes wrong with that too much. Can that be coached? Sure, but it takes a lot of time. They've been playing this running back position for 14 years most of the time. 13 years. This is something they probably worked on in the past. And if you don't have it in college, it's really hard to make translate at the next level. These are the little things that matter to coaches when they're trying to look at tape, right? So when your head and your feet are on the same path, it leads to easier cuts, quicker cuts, and better reads. If your feet, on the other hand, are too fast and your vision's not there, you're going to run into the back of your lineman. You're going to choose the wrong hole. You're going to pull a DeAndre Swift sometimes, and I love DeAndre Swift. He's from my hometown. But you're going to try to bounce it outside too much. You're going to try to trust your feet too much. And a lot of times you just need to be this and this need to be on the same wavelength. There's a lot of people that were in my last video that were like, oh, well, look at DeAndre Swift now. DeAndre Swift's year 6. Like, he got drafted in 2020, boss. Like, he didn't even get a second contract with his first team. He got let go by the Eagles really fast. Like, there's reasons for these things. He hasn't been a stable workhorse franchise back for a team. Even with Chicago, he split carries with Kyle Monangai. Like, there's reasons for this stuff. And if he truly was that, he's super, super athletic and super talented. But he does have flaws to his game, which is why he's never been the workhorse back for a team yet. Or at least stayed a workhorse back for a long time because of those vision and footwork problems. Now, again, elite player from an athletic standpoint, and I think he's really good now in the situation he is. Being with Ben Johnson is fantastic, but it took him, 5 or 6 years to get there? So we're looking at prospects that are very raw that are coming out right now. This play I absolutely love. I mean, look at the stacked box we have here. So what are we going to try to do? use our H-back and our receiver as blocking options to get outside. Keep the split wide, and look at this. Look at this. Where should he go? Boom. Burst, phenomenal. Gets outside. Give a little stiffy. Cut up the field, and gone. First off, what horrific effort on the other side here. We'll look at that in a second. Like, what is, I guess number 7 couldn't really get there, but from the wide angle, it looks like he just gave up. Couldn't dive for an ankle or something, buddy? I don't know. We'll take it, but overall, great play by Jadarian. Again, phenomenal here, dude. Like, this is textbook stuff. This is textbook stuff, right? I mean, sees the hole open up for a millisecond, and he's through. He's not wasting time. He's not wasting time second guessing. He finds the hole, and he's through. This is awesome stuff, right? One cut, no pitter-patter, right through. Boom. That's what you love to see. That's what you love to see. A very decisive back. Couldn't get it going there, but he made the right read. Again, gets tackled from behind. Who makes that play? 54 just gets beat across his face. Oh, my God, yeah. Number 5 comes in hawking. Sheesh. That's going to be his biggest knockout of everything, right? Is it the receiving game? Can he be a great receiver? We don't know. I think he has the tools to get it done, but, like, we truly do not know. Let's go over one last game. So this is against Arkansas, right? Obviously, we're going to be playing Arkansas. They're 77th in the country in run grade. So, again, right in the middle of the statistics here. So we'll see him against them. Again, gets the outside. Nothing really doing there. Right, would like to see him cut up like he did in the past few games, but instead tries to bounce it outside. Nothing's really working there. Here we go. I like these. I like the white unis for Notre Dame. I just do. I like them better than the blue. The white and gold's nice. Woo! Look at that burst, baby. I think he gets down at the 1, but look at this burst. Finds it through. Great burst by him. Great burst. A little pin and pull here. A little pin and pull action. Trying to get outside. Nothing really doing, but again, falls forward. This guy always falls forward. Even when he runs, you know who he, like, obviously he's number 24. A lot of Jordan Howard of just, like, putting nose to the grindstone and leaning forward and getting through. I also am not a big, like, the more and more I do these film breakdowns, the more and more I just hate comps. Because sometimes they're just not comps. Like, sometimes it's just, like, he's just, like, who he is. Like, it's hard to, like, give exact comps for people a lot of times. There he is on the outside trying to get some speed. Again, he has good speed. I mean, like, obviously we haven't seen, like, huge breakaway bursts, but he has great burst off the line. Obviously, I would like to see his 20-yard plus speed really come out, but we haven't really seen it too much. But overall, I mean, been a great ball player. Off the line, explosion through. Again, head was a little bit faster than his feet, right? So he ends up getting blown into number 9 here, but ends up falling forward again for a few, which we'll take every single time. Like, here's the other thing with him is we haven't seen any super crucial mistakes, right? We haven't seen him make, like, a read here where he tries to, like, bounce it here, you know? Like, that's the other thing, like, we saw with these other 2 backs we've already looked at. Is a lot of times they'll try to get too flashy or too fancy and try to, like, cut here and make a move on number 4 or something. Or he's just taking what's there. Like, he sees it, he's through. No second thoughts. He sees it, he's through, he's forward for a few yards. And again, at the next level, holds close like that, and they're gone. If you can do it at the college level, you can translate it to this NFL level, and you're not going to have most of the time as good of lines as you do at the college level and be playing as bad as competition as you do at the college level. So your holes are going to be smaller. You're going to have to improvise more. You're going to have to find the little holes that you can get skinny through. There's a lot of other factors. You're not always going to get drafted behind the Bears or whoever the case may be with really good offensive lines that make the holes look like Navy ships can fit through them, or the Eagles of 2023, whatever it is, you know. Again, here we go. Again, heat-seeking missile, Jadarian Price right here, right? He's obviously going to find the hole, and then, like, this DB don't want to tackle him. Like, I promise you, he just doesn't. He's going to fall for an extra 3 yards after making contact, just because he's so forward in his lean and just puts his head down and keeps his legs churning. Kid's tape is great, man. I wish his stats, like, actually, like, he had a workload to back it up. And I wish he got more receiving work to really see what we're working with here. But, like, look how fast he hits that hole. Like, he's not afraid of nobody. The only thing that scares this man is death. Concussions don't worry him. Here we go, a little swing route right out to Jadarian. Get him out in space. Get him moving. There you go, big man. There you go, big man. Make a play, big man. That's nuts. That's one horrendous tackling. Horrendous tackling from an SEC school. Great cut. Way to cut across his face, right? Number 4, you need to be cut from the team, boss man. What are we doing with your hands this high on a 5'11", 210-pound man? You think that's going to fly? Really, big dog. You think this is going to fly? You're playing patty cake with him. You could have just easily shot for his thighs, got him down. Goes high, then we see that speed, that burst, next level. He's off, gone. Love to see that. Love to see that. There's a little pause for that pistol inside, right? 76. Where the hell are your eyes, big dog? What are we looking at? Like this is clearly inside zone, right? So what do we see if we're going to the 2 hole, right? That means everyone's blocking this way, right? So what do you got? No one's on you, which means you work up to which level? You double, work to 3. Double, work to 3. Big dog, who do you got? 0. Tight end, who do you got? You work in this backside, right? Let's keep this lines here, right? You here to here, right? Big dog center got 88, right? We're working, doubling, getting to the next level to seal off 10 and or 14, depending on where he goes, right? We're working to here, and we're working up to this next level, right? Or technically, since he's on the inside, I can't tell if he's on the inside shoulder or not, or if he's head top, but I think he's inside, so we're going to get him here, right? This is what it should look like, right? And 14 should get kind of swallowed up and have to be the choice that the running back works off of. 76, we got to get this block, big dog. 76, we got to get this block, big dog. Because if we get that block, right, he's making a choice between a hole right here and a hole right here, and 14's kind of swallowed up. Also, 74 gets absolutely smoked as well. Quick reactions here. Boom. Not too much pitter-patter, right? Keeps his feet down, keeps his feet churning. Let's gain 3, right? What have we seen a lot of in these film reviews, right? Guys that were this same situation would happen, and we panic. And we try to try to juke him and get outside and lose yards. Or we try to cut it all the way back and we lose yards or gain 2, right? Instead, feet in the ground, straight forward, right? Let's just gain yards. Let's just gain positive net out of this. He's a guy that doesn't do the fancy shit, and maybe I'm just old-fashioned in my thinking, but that's what I love out of a running back. Just get me 3 yards, big dog. That's all I need you for. 3 to 4 yards at a time, and we are cooling. He also loves the stiffy. Oh, my God. Look at this. Want some? Next. You ain't catching me, big dog. It looks like he has long arms, but I can't really tell. I'm excited to see the measurements. But he gets that arm out. You ain't, neither you. Right? Use that speed, use the acceleration. We're off. Again, same thing we've seen all game. They're attacking the outside, right? Let's see it. Way to pick up. Let's go. Let's burst. You ain't touching him. And he's gone. Jadarian Price right now is my RB2. Again, we've only done 3 breakdowns right now, so we have a lot of time and a lot of still players to come. But again, let's break down his chart for me. Again, if you remember the ratings chart along with the overall prospect chart. His overall prospect rating, right? Jadarian Price. You look at footwork. I think he was great. I think it was good footwork, right? It wasn't elite. It wasn't anything like that crazy, but I thought it was really good, right? 7.7 for the footwork. Again, didn't have any crazy situations in the games that we went over today and the games I've watched. Again, he had a good offensive line, which aids that a lot, but solid footwork. So I gave it a 7.7, teetering on the brink of great, but still very good. Agility was solid, above average for sure, but didn't blow me away by any means. So I give that above average a 6.7. And then long speed, above average, I gave it 6. I couldn't do, I didn't want to say average because I think it was better than average, but it wasn't great. It wasn't really good. It was just above average. I think it was 6. Burst was great. I thought his burst was fantastic. Through the line, getting to the line, 8.2. That was his best attribute by far for him. Hands, I think were average. I gave a 5. I mean, he didn't drop any balls. I didn't see many drops in his film. He just wasn't utilized that much. So average, it's fine. I would put below average, but I think that would be a disservice because we didn't really see him utilized a lot. Normally when I put below average for hands and route runnings and stuff, it's when he literally gets utilized not at all or just has a lot of drops on his film. I can't remember who it was last year, but there was someone we went over that had like 5 or 6 drops, and I was like, these hands are awful and just can't be utilized. And I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but that happens in college football all the time. Vision. Great. I thought he didn't have a problem with vision. I thought he was able to find the holes that were niche and was able to get skinny and get through. I gave him an 8.1. I thought that was great. Again, it's, as you can see, it's going to be very hard for people to get elite ratings. Like, elite ratings are meant for the elite backs that do elite shit, like the Saquon Barkleys, the Ezekiel Elliott's, the Jeremiah Loves that we'll get to eventually at some point. Like, those are the guys that will get these elite numbers for the most part. But I mean, you can't get much better vision. I mean, 8.1, 8.2 were still fantastic, great ratings for running backs like this. Patience was good, 7.3. Didn't have much of a problem with it. Made great decisions. I put patience slash decision making. So I got to put it at 7.3. These are all the prospect charts as well over the past few days, so you can see them all lined up for Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price, and Emmett Johnson, so you can see them all lined up together. But obviously Jadarian's the highest right now with a 7 evaluation, which puts him at the good running back rating. I think that's kind of exactly where he is. I think he's a good back. Is he a great back? I mean, no, obviously we would need to see a lot more volume, a lot more tape against way better teams for him to be a great or elite back. But again, he falls in that category of he's really up there, and he's a great running back prospect. And I'm excited to see where he goes. He's right now my RB2. I think he's going to be higher than most backs that we see so far this year. And I think there's a real possibility that him and Jeremiah Love go as RB1 and RB2 in the draft. But if you enjoy this style of content, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a comment down below. What do you think of him? Do you think I overhyped him? Do you think I underhyped him? I never get upset about feedback or anything. Like, I think these are very informational videos, and I think what you guys bring to the table as well is important. So if you guys have comments on things or think I should change something about something, I would love to hear it down below as well. But this is my thoughts on Jadarian Price. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.